Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here today on RJ's Trains. And today we have a huge package from Trains with a Z. So let's get it unboxed, let's see what's inside, take it out, check it out, and run it around the layout today on RJ's Trains. Make sure to use code RJTrains at trains.com for $10 off any order $50 or more. And of course, we've got Inspector Maple here on the case, inspecting the packaging. Good girl. And here it is out of the box. It is the MTH Premier OBB Taurus electric locomotive. OBB stands for the Österreichische Bundesbahnen, or in English, the Austrian Federal Railways. I promise that is the only German that I will burden you with in this video. But once again, we are back with another one of MTH's fantastic European locomotives. The Taurus locomotive group are used all throughout continental Europe on both passenger trains as well as freight trains. In fact, when I visited Europe back in 2024, many of my trains were pulled by these Taurus type locomotives. As part of my travels during that 2024 trip, I took a series of trains all the way from Rome to London, stopping in cities like Vienna, Salzburg, Munich, Strasbourg, Paris, and eventually ending up in London. And for the vast majority of those trains, in fact, all the way from Rome to Strasbourg, those trains were all operated by OBB. So I've ridden behind quite a few OBB trains, and picking up one of these locomotives has been very high up on the list of things that I would eventually like to own. And well, Trains had it for sale at a phenomenal price, half the price of MSRP, and well, I figured it was just kind of meant to be. Now, as a MTH Premier model, this model is equipped with all the features that you'd expect out of any other PS3 model. So it's got Proto Sounds 3, PFA sequence, it has operating pantographs, and overall just a really solid, beautifully detailed model by MTH, as you'd expect with any of the other locomotives that they have made before. They just a ton of great detailing on the side of the locomotive as well as up on the roof. Just like I said before, super glad I picked up this locomotive. And one of my favorite features included with the sound set on this locomotive is this little jingle that the locomotive plays as it ramps up, as it's starting to move. So let's take a quick listen to that now, and you'll hear it more as we run it around the layout. Now, the Siemens Taurus locomotives were the basis for the ACS64s, which are currently used by Amtrak and SEPTA on the Northeast Corridor to pull Amtrak's long-distance trains as well as Northeast regionals between Washington, D.C. and Boston. So it's kind of a cousin in a way to the ACS64, so it's kind of as close as we'll get to the ACS64s for now in O scale. Jay from Third Rail, please make ACS64s. But anyways, as I mentioned before, in Europe, these are primarily used on both passenger trains as well as freight trains. And well, they don't really make any modern O-scale passenger cars for the European market. And if they do, they're ridiculously expensive, and I can't really figure out a way to order them. So I think in the future, what I'd like to do is order a series of European O-scale intermodal cars. So this way, if I ever wanted a modern day British diesel locomotive, I could use the intermodal cars with that or with this locomotive, but that's for something way down the line. In today's video, we're actually going to be running this with a Amtrak train with my own little Amtrak Crescent consist. So it's kind of like Amtrak's trialing a Taurus on the Northeast Corridor on my West Virginia themed layout. Anyways, it's a 3-rail O-scale layout. It's my layout. I can make the rules. So let's fire up this beautiful locomotive and, you know, run it around the layout.
Hier Lokführer 52982, Lok fertig aufgerüstet und bereit zur Abfahrt.
Lok 52982, vorziehen bis Sperrsignal 7. Dort Richtungswechsel und Zug ausnehmen. Meldung bei Sperrsignal.
Verstanden. Vorziehen bis Sperrsignal, dort Richtungswechsel.
Richtig.
Hier Lokführer 52982, fertig gekuppelt, Bremsprobe ausgeführt, bereit zur Abfahrt.
Lokführer 52982, fertig zur Abfahrt. Bremsprobe ausgeführt. Ausfahrt durch Signalfreigabe.
Ausfahrt durch Signalfreigabe.
Richtig. Gute Fahrt.
Alle Leitstelle, hier ist der 51585. Stehe seit über 5 Minuten vor rotem Signal. Was ist los?
Hallo 51585. Irgendetwas stimmt nicht mit dem Signal. Bitte warten. Wir müssen erst klären, was los ist.
Hallo Kollege. Dein Problem mit dem Signal wiegt 120 Tonnen und steht vor dir auf der Strecke. Hier ist der I101078.
Ach ja, dich gibt's ja auch noch. Hätte dich fast vergessen. Bitte noch warten. Zuerst muss der Intercity 1078 ausfahren. Dann geht's weiter.
Alles klar.
Zug 51585 aus Neustadt. Bitte antworten.
Hier 51585. Ich höre.
Bitte langsam fahren. Intercity 1078 bleibt bis zum nächsten Halt vor dir.
Alles klar. Intercity 1078 bis zum nächsten Halt voraus. Danke.
In Ordnung. Gute Fahrt.
Okay, bis dann.